Good afternoon. This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and it is time for two funny guys today. We have Paul Seaburn for
What in the World?
And we have your sidekick, John, who has
around here
sort of
somewhere.
a weird connection today, so he keeps freezing on us.
Yeah, John the Snowman. That's what we're going to call him.
Okay, John the Snowman.
Hi, John.
Hi, guys. What's going on? It's a cold day.
That's right. It's a very cold. I was just about to say that. The reason why there's so many problems today are due to weather issues. So who knows? You know, we're all going to play it by ear just like we always do it here at What in the World. And if things get funky, we'll just say what we always say, which is what in the world.
That's right.
There you go. So we won't talk about, we're not here to talk about the bad weather. We're not here to talk about politics, the virus, all that other bad news. We're sticking with fun stuff that happens all around the world. That's why it's called What in the World. Real news, sometimes strange, always funny. That's our motto. We're here on newclevelandradio.net. Karen is the media mogul at our network. We have a ton of podcasts there in addition to What in the World, so check it out. See where you can download all of us. You can also find What in the World on YouTube. So if you're watching us in the future, hello. I hope things are better there. So let's get started because I got a lot of stories and John's got some strange sports for us today. So we're going to talk about UFOs, Russian UFOs, which are very strange. We're going to talk about Chupacabras for Karen.
Chupacabras!
Yes, Chupacabras in Silicon Valley.
Wow.
Let's see. We're going to talk about glowing wombats. So that'd be a great name for a band, but
it would be. That would be a good name for a band.
Yeah, down in Australia. We could form one like that. We're going to talk about cocoa. We're going to talk about, we got some food stories here. We're going to talk about cocoa. We're going to talk about cotton candy. We have strange stories involving both of those. Prince Philip, if I can fit him in, I didn't know this. He's a big UFO buff. We might talk a little bit about that. And Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, one of the strangest boxers ever to live. Believe it or not, he's back in boxing and doing more strange stuff. So we're going to talk about him as well. And then, of course, that will lead right into John and the strange sport he has dug up for us. So, and we have multimedia. We have photos of a lot of the stuff. So, as always, if you want more information, go to mysterioussusuniverse.org, which is where I'm the editor and head writer. Go to my Facebook page. A lot of times I'll put some of this stuff out there as well. And but as always, come and visit us at What in the World. So let's get started with the UFOs, the Russian UFOs. So one of the things we always say about UFOs on What in the World is that why are the photographs so blurry? Always, nobody can ever find a good photograph of UFOs. Same with Bigfoot and all the other stuff. Karen complains about it. John complains about it. I complain about it. There's nothing we can do about it. Turns out you would think that astronauts would get better, clearer photos of UFOs. Believe it or not, they don't. And this comes from a British astronaut. Tim Peake is his name. He was on the International Space Station for 6 months back in 2015. And back then, he said that he saw UFOs right outside the window of the space station. Now, I don't remember seeing any photos. I'm sure if he took them, they were blurred, but which is probably why I didn't talk about it.
They always are.
Yeah, but he swore that he saw these UFOs. So now here it is, 2020. He's back from the space station. He's a retired astronaut. He's on some TV show, and he decides to bare his soul and tell the truth. And what he said was he saw these 3 lights outside the window of the International Space Station that he swore at the time were UFOs. Now he admits that they were drops of urine, frozen urine from the Russian side of the space station.
Oh, no.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I know. I can see why he would be embarrassed to mention it. I'm sure the Russian cosmonaut just ribbed him ceaselessly.
Oh,
You,
sure.
hey, you British American, whatever you are. That's not UFO. That's P. That's P from Peeble. No, so
Oh my gosh.
so when at some point when we start traveling to Mars and there's like a busload of people going, they need to put an optometrist or something on there to make sure everybody's got good eyeglasses. The windows are clean, we get good view of what you're looking at, because we don't want to know about frozen pea, especially Russian UFO. So speaking of Russia, the home of strange stories, Russia is like the Florida of the world. So a 59-year-old man in Zelenograd, I don't know where that is, but why do all Russian cities end up with
They all
glass?
sound the same.
Stalingrad, yeah, they do. They all sound the same.
Right, sure.
Just to confuse us. So anyway, so this guy, he's 59 years old. He's had serious breathing issues for his entire life. So he finally goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, there's something up your nose. So they pull it out, and it's a coin that he stuck up his nose 50 years ago and forgot about. Now, how do you forget about a coin stuck up your nose? Number one. I mean,
Wait, he never went to the doctor in 50 years?
Well, he must have gone, but maybe he didn't tell them about it.
But they look up your nose.
Yeah, exactly. When you go for a physical or whatever.
It's Russia. Wait, no, these are Russian doctors we're talking about here. Boris with the, he comes with the bag and some vodka. Yeah, have some vodka. Okay, what's your problem? There, have some more vodka. I don't know. I can remember. I know. How could you not remember it? I remember some of the best things I picked out of my nose. I can still remember. No, okay, that's a joke. I don't remember them. I keep a diary.
Let me ask you a question, though. I have a question. Like, how?
Oh no!
Small
I'm afraid. Go ahead.
No, like how small is this coin that was in his nostril?
It was a Russian coin. It was a half.
Well, I mean, it's got to be small, right? I mean,
it wasn't a silver dollar.
Oh, it's.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. John the Snowman just came on. There he is. All right, he'll be back in a minute. And we'll let you finish your question, John. So, anyways. So that's the Russian guy with the coin up his nose. I'm sure, I bet you he was customer of the month with the nasal spray company in Russia. What's up my nose? Yes.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
So now we go to Australia, one of my favorite places. Australia is the home of strange animals. So there was a story a couple of weeks ago, and I don't remember if I talked about this, but they discovered that the platypus, which is native to Australia, glows in the dark. How they missed this all these years, it's like the guy with the coin up his nose. How they missed this all these years, I don't know. All of a sudden, they tell the world, oh, by the way, that weird animal with the duck bill, it lays eggs and all that stuff, it glows in the dark. So the platypus is all excited. He's getting publicity he never got before. People are, CNN is calling him up. They want to do interviews. Guess what? 2 weeks later, they find out that the platypus isn't the only marsupial in Australia that glows in the dark. It turns out, and I have a list, here we go, the wombat, the echidna, the bandicoot, the billy, possums, and bats all glow in the dark. Now, I've been to Australia. I know people are terrified to go out into the bush at night. They told us, don't go out in the bush at night. If everything's glowing in the dark, what's so scary about it? You can see everything except the crocodile. So the whole reason why I wanted to point that out, I don't have a picture of. Oh, I do have. I have some pictures here. First thing I want to ask is, I ran through that list of animals. John, I'll ask you first, since you're not frozen, or are you? Are you moving? No, he's frozen again. Karen, do you know what a wombat is? Oh, Karen, are you there?
Oh, you're asking me?
I'm asking
Oh.
you because John went into snowman mode down
Oh,
there.
but John's moving now.
Oh,
John,
John, do you know what a wombat
is?
I'm
You
back.
know what a wombat is? No idea.
No idea. I know it's a band of some sort.
Oh, good guess. Completely wrong.
Oh,
Here's a wombat.
whoa.
Isn't that a cute little animal? I mean, but it's big.
Almost looks like a rat.
Yeah, but it's a big fluffy rat that has a pouch like a kangaroo and
Yeah.
all the other marsupial stuff that goes along.
So is it a rodent though, or no? I understand
Well, it's a marsupial rodent. Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
It's
Okay,
what
gotcha.
passes for rodents in Australia. So that's the band. That's the
Wombat.
wombat. Thank you.
Sure.
Now there's the bandicoot. Now there was a video game a long time ago about a bandicoot. I don't remember what it was. I'm sure it didn't look like the real thing. Any idea what a bandicoot might be or might look like?
Nope.
Cool. Okay,
Nope.
this is another cool Australian animal. Oh, I don't have a picture of that one. They look like like an anteater, only they're rats. They're rat-sized anteaters. They have these big, long, pointy noses and long, skinny tails, and they look like an anteater. The other one is the bilby. Okay, the bilby is another rat-sized animal that looks like a kangaroo. So it's like a kangaroo that's this big. And this I have a picture of because I thought they were the cutest little things.
Ew.
You don't think that's cute, Karen?
No.
Oh man, wouldn't you want one in your office?
No.
Kangaroo
on that.
looks a little more smooth. Kangaroo looks a little more smooth, like, right? I mean, that guy looks a little, I don't know.
Look, I think I'd be cool. Have him hopping on a little wheel all day long, all night long in your hopping away. No, maybe it's just me. I'm sorry.
I think it's you.
Okay. It's just me.
It's comforting.
That's our excuse for everything. Okay, so we've talked about how 2020 is the year that we're all going to remember because it's nothing but bad news. So here's something good that they discovered in 2020. Researchers at the University of Birmingham, which is not in Alabama, but in England, found that drinking cocoa boosts your memory by increasing the amount of cognitive improving flavonols in your brain. So these are these little chemicals. They go up in you drink the cocoa, goes up to your brain, improves your memory. That's great. Something that is enjoyable is actually good for you as well. And also, I think this news has been traveling fast because I was at the grocery store yesterday, and there's this guy in the milk section chugging chocolate milk. And I said, "What's wrong?" He says, "I'm trying to remember what my wife told me to come here to get."
All right, Paul.
So anyways, so that caused me to think about chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And we're all the same age. When we were growing up in Cleveland, we'll talk about Cleveland first because Karen, you grew up in Michigan and Minnesota and all these other places. So we'll find out about you first. But in Cleveland, if you wanted chocolate milk, everybody else around the country got Nesquik, Nestle's chocolate. What did we get, John? Remember the famous chocolate when we were kids?
Oh, you know what? I'm trying to remember the name of it, but you're right.
Oh, wait, I got a picture. This'll jog your memory,
Did
John.
Ovaltine? Oh, Bosco. We used to have that.
Did you have that?
Yeah.
Came in that big jar that you could just spoon it out straight into your mouth. Leave out the milk. Yeah.
Me and my brothers and sister, Bosco was a big deal. Bosco had there were a lot of ads for Bosco.
Yes.
Children's show. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Captain Penny and Barnaby.
Right.
That was their biggest advertiser was Bosco. So that's what we all drank.
Wow.
So I wanted to look up Bosco. It turns out Bosco's been around since 1928. And I love this because I'm going to show you the fine print on the bottle after this. It was invented by a doctor. Now, it doesn't say what he was trying to do, with inventing chocolate syrup. Did he want you, if you cut your hand, pour the syrup on and then lick it off and the saliva helps, heal your scratch? But anyway, it's not called chocolate syrup. It's called a milk amplifier, which is what it says right down there, a milk amplifier.
I see that. Okay.
So the doctor obviously had some reason for doing it. So he sold the idea to the William S. Skull Company. Skull is the company. Who nobody's going to drink Skull chocolate milk. So they had to change the name. Well, it turns out that their main product was something called Boskull, Boscul coffee, Boskull. So they knocked off the UL and they replaced it with an O and it became Bosco, and it just addicted kids worldwide. Company is now called the Bosco Company. It's in New Jersey. And the thing that I loved about this, and you know how much we love trivia, especially TV trivia. This Bosco, it turns out, has appeared on many, many television shows over the years. And this is just a few of them. Mary Tyler Moore Show. Everybody remembers that one. Murray, okay, the bald guy. He's Ted Baxter, the stuck-up announcer, tells Murray to get him some hot chocolate, a glass of milk. And Murray says, he didn't know that the order came from Ted. So he brings it in and Ted takes it. And Murray says, if I had known it was for you, Ted, I'd have put some Bosco in it. Okay, Bosco reference. Laverne and Shirley, which predates the Mary Tyler Moore Show. They competed on a show called Supermarket Sweep. And Laverne got a 3-minute shopping spree. So she asked all her friends, what do you want me to get for you? Because I got 3 minutes to get anything. And all Lenny and Squiggy wanted was a jar of Bosco, which sounds about right.
Go figure.
For Lenny and Squiggy. MASH. Now, I remember this episode. It was an episode called Dear Mildred. And I think Hawkeye was writing to his mother, maybe, or his aunt, Mildred.
No, Mildred was what's his name? The
Radar.
No.
No. Oh.
The captain, not the captain, whatever he is, the guy in charge.
Oh.
It was his wife. Mildred was.
Okay. Okay, that's right. All right. So that's why Radar plays into this, because in the episode, Radar mentions that his aunt would not let him zip his Zwieback in his Bosco. If you know what I mean.
I love it.
Good old Radar. He could hide stuff so well. Now, I'm going to ruin drinking Bosco for you. Bosco chocolate syrup was used as fake blood in Alfred Hitchcock's movie Psycho during the famous shower scene at the beginning. Now, you remember that was in 1960. That was a black and white film. So you couldn't really tell that it wasn't red, but it sure looked like sticky blood. It was also used as fake blood in George Romero's Night of the Living Dead in 1968, which was by then filmed in color, but that was a classic done in black and white. So if you need fake blood and you want to do it in black and white, Bosco is it. Now, Karen, I know you have another podcast where the F word comes up occasionally. We never do that on What in the World. We avoid it. However, it's going to be difficult for me to avoid it in this next story, but I'll try. So there's this city in Australia that for 1,000 years, its name was F-C-K-I-N-G. Freaking, okay, we'll call it, all right? So thousands of jokes, they've heard every single joke that there is. So they finally decided to change the name. In fact, I'll use your imagination. That's what the sign looks like.
Got it.
Okay, so they changed their name to Fugging, F-U-G-G-I-N-G. Not quite as bad, but still, what it used to be.
Pretty close.
So, they just had tons and tons of jokes. So the one I like, this is more recent. The city sign the sign painter. He just finished tons and tons of signs with the old name on it, the F-C-K-I-N-G. And he comes in and he goes to the mayor and he says, well, what am I supposed to do with these signs now? And the mayor looks at him and he says, frick off. Oh, that's it.
That's a good one, Paul.
So anyway, so I thought that was can you believe it must have been somebody's name, or I never found any reference to why it was called that. But
I went to high school with the guy, and his last name was Fuchs and was pronounced Fuchs.
Fuchs. Yeah,
And
I
of
think we had a
course-
kid.
But
Yeah.
every teacher called him differently.
that
Yeah.
teachers have such a hard job. You know? They really do. In our neighborhoods, John, we grew up in Parma, Ohio, very, very ethnic community. Those poor teachers had so many names that were, 20 letters long, only 2 vowels, and they had to remember how to pronounce them and get nasty letters from the parents, and
That's
moving.
That's very
moved
true.
to New England, where it's all WASP names, all Smiths.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right.
All right. So speaking of moving, I know, Karen, you'd like to live someplace where the Chupacabra lives.
Well, at
Because
least it wouldn't be snowing like today.
I just noticed that my legging had moved, so I had to step out. My knee is doing better. For those of you that know about my knee surgery, my knee is doing much better.
Good to hear.
Thank you. So anyway, so we're going to talk about Chupacabras today, Karen. Now, we all know, we talked about Chupacabras enough on this show. Chupacabras come from Puerto Rico. That's the main place where they were found first. Texas has tried to adapt their own. The Texas Chupacabra looks more like a skinny dog with no hair. Doesn't look scary at all. Yeah, I know, John. The Puerto Rico Chupacabra looks like a little humanoid, a lizard that walks on 2 legs, and the cabra part comes from goat. The chupa comes from suck. So that's what they do. They suck the blood of goats. That's their whole purpose in life.
Oh.
So I get these stories from all over the world. We saw a Chupacabra in Parma. We saw one in Poland. And the first thing you have to ask is, well, if it's not Puerto Rico, it's not a real Chupacabra. Oh, but it is. It is. Okay, well, did it suck the blood of goats? Well, no, it was chickens. Well, then it's not a Chupacabra.
Don't let the facts get in the way. Don't let the facts get in the way.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story. I know, John. I know. That is one of my rules. So this one comes from Silicon Valley. So it checks most of the box. It comes from a lady who said she lost 12 goats in her neighborhood to something, which she thinks is either a mountain lion or a Chupacabra.
Different sizes.
Different.
Chupacabra, mountain lion.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Well, 12 goats. I don't know how big the goats are in Silicon Valley. Which brings the first question, which is, why are there goats in Silicon Valley, you may ask? I've been to Silicon Valley. I don't remember seeing goats. Turns out, it's in California, and, be good to the environment. So instead of using power lawnmowers, a lot of people are bringing in herds of goats and using them to mow their lawn or clear out brush in the park, things like that. There was, and it causes problems because there was I may have talked about this story last year. It was earlier this year. A whole herd of goats got loose in Silicon Valley and goes running down. And of course, all these computer people, they don't know what to do. They've been sitting playing games all day. So they had to find the guy who owned them and herd them and get them in. So this lady's in Los Gatos. So they don't know what to do. So she writes to an advice columnist in the paper, like a Dear Abby kind of person, who's probably Dear Krabby after she gets this letter. And she tells about the goats, and she says, I think they were either eaten by a mountain lion or a Chupacabra. And the writer, God bless her, she didn't say, you crazy lady. She says, well, mountain lions don't hunt in packs, and they don't kill for fun. So if the bodies were left where they were killed, which is what happened there, then it wasn't a mountain lion. She said, maybe a coyote, but maybe it was a pack of wild dogs. Not a Chupacabra, because there was no blood missing, okay, and was in Puerto Rico. So that's the story of the Chupacabra. So what she recommended they do is put up security cameras and with motion detectors and see if they can figure out what it is. But she didn't think it was a Chupacabra. She didn't think it was a mountain lion. So if you're watching from Silicon Valley, you're safe for now. The mountain lions, we can't help you there. But Chupacabras, you're in good shape. And we have coyotes. Karen, do you ever hear coyotes? You live right by the park.
I
Valley
wouldn't
National
know
Park.
the difference between a coyote and a howling dog.
Or a howling drunk guy.
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference between any of those three. So, anyways. All right, let's go back out into space for a second. The European Space Agency signed a $103 million contract with a company in Switzerland called Clear Space. Gives you a hint. To launch a giant claw into space to go around and use this claw to pick up discarded broken satellites and pieces of rockets and all this other space junk that's orbiting the Earth and getting thicker and thicker and thicker and presenting a danger to our new rockets that are being launched up there. So what it's supposed to do is this claw is going to come down, grab the satellite, and then drag it lower into the atmosphere, and then let it go, and it falls down and burns up in the atmosphere like a little meteor. Okay, that might be dangerous for us, but they don't care. They got it out of the way of their rocket. So I'm thinking, here's a good way that this thing could pay for itself. What they need to do, they need to use computer graphics, number one, and make the space junk look like stuffed animals. Then they need to sell to us Earthlings time on this claw. So it's just like that thing in the grocery store or in the department.
Oh.
For $100 an hour, I'd play that. Trying to grab the.
You never win. You never get
satellites.
the prize. Who gets the prize in those, anyways? Who does?
I don't. Nobody ever gets the prize. I've never seen anyone win that.
No, kids just climb into it, and I don't know how they get in there.
That's true. They do.
Yeah.
They do. They climb into it. So let's check the time here. Okay, let's do the. I want to do the cotton candy. I thought this was really interesting. Oh, I lost it here. Where's it at? Oh, there's Bluff the co-host. Oh, I can't forget that.
Not time yet.
No, not yet. So there's this. This is kind of related to what we're all going through these days. It has to do with math. A physicist in Okinawa has developed a way to replace the filters in the mask, those N95, the really, really strong ones, that you're supposed to replace the filters all the time. So, but they're expensive. So he came up with a way to make cheap working filters. And he, very innovative, he used an ordinary cotton candy machine, which instead of sugar, he fed thread, and the cotton candy machine spun the thread into mask or into filters that would then fit into the mask. Much cheaper than the way they make the filters now, which I'm not sure what they are. But whatever it is, it's making this guy rich and famous because he's helping a lot of people. Don't eat the pink ones, okay? Because they're not
cotton candy.
No, they're pink thread. But I wondered about cotton candy. Okay, there's something that we've all eaten. We all know it's not good for you because it's 100% pure sugar.
Yep.
Yeah. So which surprised me when I looked up where it came from. So it originated back in, they think, in the 19th century in Europe when they made it by hand. They melted sugar and they fed it into some machine and turned a crank, and somehow it shot out this thread. Took a long time, couldn't sell it. Until somebody figured out how to make a machine. That somebody in 1897 was a dentist, a dentist by the name of William Morrison, who knew that his kids would, his clients would eat the cotton candy and then come in for more visits.
Yeah.
So he makes this machine. He hires a candy maker to give him the tips, and then they make cotton candy. It was first marketed in 1904 at the World's Fair, which I think then might have been St. Louis. either St. Louis or New York. That's where they all were. As Fairy Floss. Great name, Fairy Floss. They sold it for 25 cents a box. Now, the equivalent, 25 cents, $7 would be $7 today. So they sold it for $7 a box, basically. Almost 70,000 boxes they sold. That's how addictive this stuff is. So the patent, the guy applied for a patent. It's got an electric starter, a rotatable bowl, the bowl that spins around, and that maintained the heat because you had to keep it warm enough. By 1907, it was doing so well, General Electric bought the patent to make them. Okay, so they saw the money in it, the patent, no one has ever improved on it. The patent is still used today. It's still the same technique today. In the 1970s, they made one innovation, and that is they added a packaging arm to it so that the cotton candy would spit right into a plastic bag, and they could seal it and sell it in stores. So you didn't have to go to the circus or to the carnival. You could buy it right at your favorite grocery store. Oh boy, yeah. Just what you need, Karen.
Yep.
The world's largest cotton candy maker, the people that make the stuff that goes into the bags, the Tootsie Roll Company, who makes another different confectionery that I think we've talked about before. Their bag of cotton candy, it can't be called cotton candy, so they call it fluffy stuff. The best part of all of this, today is December 1st. December 7th is National Cotton Candy Day. So it's a good day to celebrate. Go to your Giant Eagle or Kroger's or wherever it is you go buying your food and have a bag once a year. It's not going to kill you. Your dentist won't know. Get a bag of cotton candy. Celebrate it on December 7th.
Or you can go to Sweeties.
Go to Sweeties. That's right.
Yeah,
famous candy company in Isn't December 7th a day that will live in infamy?
Yeah, it's Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor Day.
Harbor,
yeah,
right.
that's right. Well, we celebrate. We eat
Cotton candy in Pearl Harbor.
That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound right.
Good at all. No, not at all.
All right. So now I normally our good buddy John with What in the World of Sports has all the great sports stories. I happen to do a couple this week that I decided I will bring along before we get into the weird sport that John has. So for a couple of them. First one was from Florida. 5 women in Florida broke a Guinness World Record for walking as a relay team barefoot on Lego blocks. Think about that for a moment. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And in fact, they set a second record for the amount of time they said "ow" in an hour.
It's a dual record. It's a dual record.
They walked 2 miles in 1 hour in a relay. So they walked a little bit till they couldn't stand it anymore, and then handed the baton to the next woman who jumped on and kept and set a Guinness World Record. So apparently, the Guinness people watched the video and they verified it. And now, of course, there's going to be other crazy people all over the world trying to break this record. Why? We have too much time on our hands.
Yes.
We need for this whole thing to be over.
Yes, we do.
Here's another guy with too much time on his hands. The track coach at the University of North Carolina, Dylan Sorensen is his name. He's the track coach, okay? He set a Guinness World Record last week by running a mile in 4 minutes and 33.73 seconds. Okay, now you're thinking, well, wait a minute. The world record for running a mile is like 3 minutes and 50 seconds. He was dribbling a basketball the whole time.
Oh.
Dribbling a basketball for a mile. And he ran that mile in just barely over 4 minutes.
Did he ever dribble the ball out of his rhythm? And he had to get the ball back, or
John, I didn't have 4 minutes to watch the whole video.
Oh, I'm just asking.
I'm just taking their word for it and add a picture
I
of
was
it.
just asking. Okay, fair enough.
How, you tell this to LeBron James, and he says, well, of course he can run that fast. There's nobody guarding him. I could run that fast.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So believe it or not, this is a sport when we may have to come back to this, John. They don't just run the mile. The fastest marathon while dribbling a basketball, 3 hours and 25 seconds, just over 3 hours. Now that's awfully fast, awfully fast. That's just a half hour off the world record.
Right.
The fastest marathon dribbling 2 basketballs, 3 hours and 50 minutes. Greatest distance covered in 24 hours running while dribbling a basketball, 110 miles. Who has this kind of time?
110 miles. Oh my God.
110 miles.
Doesn't your arm get tired?
Yeah, a lot of parts get tired.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
A lot of parts get tired.
Amazing.
But nowhere near as bad as this next guy. His name is Wang Lutai. He lives in China. Calls himself the Iron Crotch Kung Fu Master. Now, why would you call yourself that? He's trying to get people into the sport. So he posted a video of himself swinging on a chain, okay, like back and forth, a 6.5 foot long, 110-pound log, okay, swinging back and forth, which he stands in front of and allows it to swing into his crotch.
Ow!
Karen's the one yelling "ow" about this one. John, you and I are the ones who are supposed to be saying "ow" on this.
Yeah, no kidding. Listen, I don't even want to hear the rest of the story.
I know. Oh wait, John. How about the picture? Here he is.
Oh!
Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that. If I had the video, this would have been a great video. A great video.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So he's trying to get kids to join in on this sport.
Oh.
He claims the goal is to have the thing hit you without saying "ow" and without falling over. Okay, without moving. If you do that, then you become the guru, the Iron Crotch Kung Fu Master. So he says it doesn't hurt him, has no effect on his sex life. His wife, au contraire, says, well, it gives him a little mushu pork, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Ay, ay, ay.
Ah.
Oh.
Who does these things? Who does these things?
Well, you find these people.
Oh, thanks, John. You're supposed to support me on this.
I'm trying to, but I'm thinking you somehow find them every week, you know?
Well, I know. It's maybe I shouldn't dabble in sports. I should leave that to you. So with this story, I'm going to lead into your segment.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
So everybody knows who Mike Tyson is or was. He was the crazy world heavyweight champion for a number of years. Famous for doing something which we'll get to in a second. He just came back and fought again this past weekend. After a 15-year layoff, he decided to fight again. So to prepare for his fight against Roy Jones Jr., he baked a cake in the shape of Roy Jones Jr.'s head and ate the ear off of it. And there's the cake.
Are you kidding me?
No, there's the cake. This was on Thanksgiving, Karen.
Oh.
He ate the ear. That's him with the ear in his mouth. Okay, and then the rest of his family ate the rest of the cake instead of pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving.
There are publicity stunts and there are publicity stunts, okay? But that's got to be the all-time low.
Yeah.
That's the
reminiscent of his famous fight against Evander Holyfield when he bit his ear off not once but twice during the same fight, and they
correct.
Didn't.
That is correct. Yeah.
So Mike, after eating it, he videotaped it, for his history.
Posterity. For
course,
posterity, right? Yeah.
So
right.
he says, so they ate the head, he ate the ear, and he said it tasted better than Evander Holyfield.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. That's right. He left out sweat.
Yeah.
Okay, I baked a number of cakes. If you leave out the sweat, they don't taste like ear. So, like at Easter, John, when you make the bunny cakes, don't put sweat in it.
Well, there you have it.
But it doesn't taste like bunny.
No, definitely not.
So that's how he trained. Now, the other thing he did to train, this was my other story of the week. He claims that he ingested the venom of psychedelic toads, which you can either eat dry or you can just lick the toad and get the venom off their skin, which is where they emit it. He claimed that he did that, and the hallucinations convinced him to become a boxer again and get back in the ring. And then, right before the fight with Roy Jones Jr. on Saturday, he smoked pot to get ready for it. The fight, John, I don't know if you watched it, ended up in a draw. Okay, so
Did not watch the fight. It ended up in a draw, really.
ended up in a draw. That's right. So the toad didn't help. The pot didn't help. My recommendation: forget the toads, forget the pot. Stick with frog legs. Stick with playing pickleball. Mike, you're too old.
Well, not only from the publicity side, I'm sure there's going to be Roy Jones, Mike Tyson fight number 2.
Of course. Yeah.
Ends in a draw,
What will he do?
oh my gosh, unbelievable!
What will he do to get
Only
ready?
in America. Only in
Yeah.
America, right?
So John, I don't, boxing's not my sport. I used to run, once my knee gets back in shape, I hope to run again. I'm not a good dribbler. I never got picked on the basketball team. I could shoot, I could block, play defense, but I wasn't great dribbler. I have zero interest in becoming an iron crotch kung fu master. But
Paul,
I'm always looking for something.
Good for you. Hey, Paul, good for you. Newsflash.
I'm always looking for some sports that maybe I can still participate in at my advanced age. And I often ask John, is there something that we could do to stay in shape, both physically and mentally? John is a little younger than I am, but at my advanced age. So John, what did you find for us to do this week?
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul and Karen, I'm glad you asked that question because I have discovered.
Because it's in the script. Yeah.
Yes, it was in the script. And again, we have to thank Annette for this one because she found this one on the internet also. Okay.
John's lovely wife, Annette.
Yes. So, and listen closely when I say this because it's going to sound strange. The sport is chess boxing. Yes, chess boxing.
I thought you said chess boxing.
I did say chess boxing. Now wait.
Okay.
If you're under the impression that the game of chess is a game only for cerebral folks without much interest in the physical side of things, you will be surprised to learn about the sport of chess boxing. Yes?
So it's like chess, like the game of chess?
Yes,
You're getting ahead of us, Karen.
Yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a hybrid fighting sport / board game in which competitors face off in alternate rounds of chess and boxing.
So
Well, let me before you go befuddled, Paul,
Okay.
so you're no longer befuddled. What is chess boxing and how does it work? Chess boxing is a sport that was initially thought up by a Dutch performance artist. His name is Leppie Rubing. So initially, it was thought to be nothing more than a zany performance art installation. The concept quickly caught on. Now, Rubing is the first president of the World Chess Boxing Organization, and the sport is gaining a wider and wider following. One chess boxing fight consists of 11 different rounds.
11 rounds.
Okay. Each lasting 3 minutes. The match begins and ends with a round of chess, and in between, they alternate between chess and boxing.
Now, do they have
Why?
Karen, that's a great question. I don't have an answer for.
Do they have the ring girls that go around in between the rounds?
I have not seen a video, Paul, so I don't know. But I think if they don't, they should.
They should.
So anyway, so the
Just like the Queen,
Well, yeah, sure, of course. So the transition time between rounds usually lasts about 60 seconds, making the total length of a single chess boxing match roughly 45 minutes. And if you think of it, 45 minutes is not that long of a time, really.
No, that's pretty fast.
It's kind of actually a sweet spot, if you ask me. 45 minutes. to
We could
be
do
in
that.
competition with someone, to
Yeah.
determine who's best in the competition?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so let's go to the rules. The rules of chess boxing are essentially the
There's
same as
rules.
the rules
I
of
can't believe
chess.
it.
What? The rules of chess boxing are essentially the same as the rules of chess and boxing, respectively, with a few more added in to smooth out the whole process. There are several different ways to secure a win in either type of round, and that can be a knockout, a technical knockout, or checkmate, an opponent exceeding the allotted time limit, an opponent disqualification, or an opponent resignation. So those
So,
are the ways, so those are the ways that you win points. So you win
so a
points.
knockout is
Yeah.
ranked the same as a checkmate.
It's an equivalency. That's kind of
Equivalent
the
to a
interesting
checkmate.
element of the sport. Yes, yes.
So if you're a smart chess boxer, and I know that's an oxymoron.
It is an
but-
oxymoron. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
If you're a smart chess boxer, you may want to emphasize your chess skills rather than your boxing. But
It's a lot safer. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way.
yeah, but it's 45 minutes. That's not a whole lot of time to get the checkmate.
No, it's not. That's the other side. So you really have to be adept at chess. You really do.
Well-
You have skill, not to be
Now,
funny.
Karen, I know you still doubt that this is a
Well,
real sport.
I just finished watching the Netflix, series of The Queen's Gambit, which is
Oh,
about
yeah.
playing chess.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine her, playing chess and boxing.
Well, let me show you a picture of a real chess boxing match in action. Now look at those.
Oh my
fights.
God. They actually look like sumo wrestlers.
They do.
They do. They do. Yes. Yes.
And apparently, one of the rules is you have to move your pieces with your boxing gloves on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
True.
Which is a challenge in and of itself.
Mhm.
To grab those little pawns with your glove-covered pawn.
Not to be funny, it's a skill like anything else. So anyway, so if none of those things happen during the regulation time,
Yes.
those things, the winner will be declared by which player has secured the most points in the chess game. So the chess game still is the dominant element over boxing.
The
Now,
tiebreaker, in other words.
right, exactly. Now,
Yeah.
if both players are tied in chess points, get this: the competitor with the most boxing points is declared the winner of the chess boxing bout, and it's the one who has the black pieces. So if you have the black pieces, those are more desired because the black pieces, yes, in this sport,
Yeah.
if you possess the black pieces as opposed to the ivory, whatever they are, your opponents, you will win. You will win if it's a tie that way.
Wow.
Okay.
We're not being racist here.
Oh, that's exactly.
Right.
So,
Okay.
and also for the record, so that you can sleep better tonight, everyone, no match has ever been so close.
Oh,
No, just when John has our snowman has frozen up on us here. So while we're waiting for John to get back, Karen, here's two chess boxers boxing after they finish their round of chess. So John, we lost you there for a second. I'm showing a picture.
I got back in. Yeah, sorry, folks. There you go. Thanks, Paul. That's a good video there. That's
So
good.
there you go. Now they're boxing after they moved their chess pieces.
Now to continue on, like regular boxing, chess boxing also has weight classes. Okay, that ensure fighters.
Those guys were heavyweights. I know that.
They were heavyweights. Yes, exactly. You could tell that. It doesn't take a rocket.
So what are the weight classes, John?
I'm glad you asked that question. So the classifications are lightweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and then heavyweight.
Like the Olympics almost.
Exactly. Now
this would be a good Olympic sport. Come to think of it.
I don't know. You got a long way to go on that one, Paul.
Better than I would watch this before I'd watch like the rhythmic gymnastics.
I would watch this over rhythmic gymnastics.
Synchronized swimming.
What about curling?
Oh yeah,
I like curling.
Yeah, I do too.
That's the future sport, by the way, folks. We're gonna come up with that a little bit later. I'm gonna spin on curling. We got a couple spins on that one. Oh yeah, classic. Wait a minute, but also organizers are particular about who may participate in chess boxing competition. Not just anyone off the street can hop into the ring. At current standards, each competitor must have an ELO rating of at least 1,600.
ELO, the band.
No, that's my first
What do
impression.
they have to do with this?
Well, that was my first impression, but then I found out it's an organization dealing with competitive sports is what it is. And
It's
they
a
have
chess rating
based
system.
on-
In other
well,
words.
it's a rating system based on matches or competition, things like that.
So you have to be in the weight class, and then you have to be rated on chess.
Yeah, you have to be good at
that's
chess.
right. That's
Yeah.
right there.
Wow.
And to point out, the cheese.
And-
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, I was going to say. I know what you're going to say next. You have to be a good boxer too.
Oh well,
Right.
yeah, because if not,
Yeah.
you get your clock cleaned.
Experience. Yeah, you have
Yeah,
to be an
exactly.
experienced boxer. Okay,
And
so you claim that this is a popular sport, John,
It is a popular sport
around the world.
But
Around the
wait a minute.
world.
I want to give props to the rating system. The creator is Arpad Elo. He is a Hungarian-American physics professor.
Okay.
Okay, so just for the record, is that if you say, well, how do you
Physics
come up with-
professor.
physics, how do you come up with the acronym ELO? Well, that's how it was.
Oh, okay.
Now, also, the competitors must have participated in.
There he goes again. John went into snowman mode. What he was going to say, I know, I can read his mind. You have to, the boxer has to have at least 50 bouts. So they have to be pretty experienced.
At least 50.
Yeah, they have to be pretty
Right.
experienced. So this goes back into the like 1700s, or when did it?
No. Well, you know what? No, because my understanding was Lepe Rubing. He was relatively contemporary. I don't think
Recent.
it goes back. Yeah, relatively recently. I mean, 20th century easy. So
Yeah.
so that's my understanding of it. I'll look into that a little more in detail, but didn't have a chance to spend the time to source that one out.
Don't hurt yourself doing
It's
that.
okay.
Well, thanks. But wait.
We
But
can
it's
wait.
popular around the world. Wait. It's popular
Around the world, it's everybody. Everybody loves
First-
chess boxing.
The first chess boxing championship tournament took place in Amsterdam in 2003.
Oh,
The Dutch Boxing Association and the Dutch Chess Federation both lended their support to help the event go off without a hitch.
Wow.
The World Championship contest took place between Jean-Louis Veenstra and the inventor of the sport itself, Lepe Rubing.
wow.
Veenstra in the competition exceeded the chess time limit in the 11th round, in the last round, making,
Oh, that little clock that you have to bang on. Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't see a picture of it, so I don't know if it's a clock or not.
Maybe
But
you
wait a
couldn't
minute.
hit it with the glove on. That's
Well,
why.
That's right. So anyways, so Rubing, the first official chess boxing champion, he has an apt title for the man who started the entire phenomenon.
Well, there you go.
Go figure.
Not quite
Yeah, go
Muhammad Ali.
figure.
the
Go
greatest,
figure.
but-
Go figure. In the annals of our show, this has got to be clearly one of the most weird sports.
no question. What now? Now maybe we could somehow work cheese rolling into this. We got chess,
That would be.
chess and cheese rolling. If we could do all those,
You'd have to have a couple different skill sets to be able to compete. And
I knew John would think about this way too hard.
Hey, it keeps me off the street. That's what it does. It keeps me
It
off.
certainly does, and we're all thankful for that. And I'm sure your lovely wife is as well. John, as always, what a great sport. Tell Annette thank you from me. Chess.
I'll let her know.
boxing.
I'll let her know, folks. Yeah, I'll let her know for
I
sure.
want to see this on TV.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But you know what else I want to see on TV? Thank you again, John. The other thing I want to see on TV is Bluff the co-host.
Uh-oh.
I think that would be the game show that knocks Wheel of Fortune off its
Wait a minute. It could easily exceed Jeopardy.
easily exceed Jeopardy.
Easily
The late-
exceed Jeopardy. Yes, as good as Jeopardy is, and as wide as it is. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
or that Cleveland boy, what's his name, on Family Feud.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey,
Steve
yeah,
Harvey, right,
great,
exactly.
good Cleveland comedian.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
anyways, yeah. So this would be another Cleveland show. Bluff the
Okay.
co-host. As always, Bluff the co-host, I have 3 stories. They are similar to the ones that I've been talking about all afternoon, with the one difference is that some of them are true, some of them are bluffs. And it's up to Karen and John and those playing at home or online to decide which one is real and which one is a bluff. So let's get right started with story number 1. Hands on the buzzer. 'Tis the season for the elf on the shelf. But a woman in California who has fond memories of Santa's little spy has carried them into adulthood with a new twist. She has an elf on the shelf made into a life-size doll, complete with all the essential parts. And it's going...
Oh, we just had a power outage. In the middle of this, we had a power outage. And I'm hoping that you guys will come back. If not, we're going to have to end this here because we just had a power outage. Bye, guys.